Well, we're going to talk about employee non-competes that you're going to get when you go to work for most companies, when you're going to work for any um, development work, and you don't want to automatically sign this stuff. You do that, you may be giving yourself a hard time down the road. And you need to know how you can alter a contract. I'll give you an example. When you move to a new job in a new city, and you go to an apartment or whatever house, you typically have to sign a year lease. Well, if you hate the company or the company hates you, 6 months into it, you can't stand going to work, or you've got an abusive boss, or whatever the reason, and you need to leave there, you need to be able to leave. And a lot of times, the egregious contract that you sign for the lease or a non-compete keeps you from doing so. So how do you do that? So when you go and you sign a lease for the first time, you need to think of when it says a year, and you put a little up arrow when you're doing and then you put your initials and whatever you're going to say, um, unless terminated, for example. Um, Now you put that in the section where it says for a year, and then you date it. Um, so it's 2020. January 1st, 2021, or whatever year it is, and then you put your initials by it. And then if they sign their portion of it, that's a legal contract. And you might do a little sweetener for that if it's a lease agreement. The people that run the management offices of companies are often not paid very well. And so you go, the cleaning, I'll make sure that um, you're supposed to get back your cleaning deposit when you leave. You might put that, I'll give you a month notice ahead of time or a month extra notice. And, um, and unless, fired or transferred to another place. Now, some of your employers will pay for that if you do get transferred. Some companies do not, since you're probably a contractor with some companies, and you don't get any benefits because they tend to do that because it's easier for them. They don't need to consider you employees. You're contractors. You don't need to get any benefits from us. So you just do the little hatch in the portion you're going to edit, print neatly what it says, and small initials, your initials, and the date. If they sign it and agree to it, it might be a 10-page contract. Some places have landlord-tenant laws that says if there are other reasons where you can't complete the payment because you're going out of town, then that's a reason to invalidate a lease. Some places they're ironclad. You need to think about it. But a non-compete, they tend to say this will be for a period of 10 years. Are you kidding? 10 years? You can't compete? You might be doing something in the health industry, software or something, and they say you can't compete with any. What? That's crazy. You might change that to 2 years, do a little hatch, put your initials and the date, but you need to mark through that. Oh, or you might have everything you design at this work is ours. Okay? And you might add a little codicil, unless developed at home, not using any company software or hardware. Because if you're using their internet, if you're using their computer at home, that's good. They've got you. But You need to reduce the time. If you can't compete, because, 10 years is ridiculous. Some of them say never, can never compete in this area. You need to read what this says. And it might say everything you have here, any design you ever have at home, you were at home and you got struck with a good idea and you came up with it. One of the guys that designed the wrench feature where you push on the little button to release on a socket set, to release the socket, I forget what you call that, he got like a $2 million settlement because of that, because Craftsman took the idea and ran with it and said, well, you did it at work and it's ours. There's a lot of cases, if you designed it at home, you worked on it at home, you didn't use the company computer, you didn't use the time. So the period of time can be changed, and the where it's done at home and didn't use any done at home, you can write that in and make sure you make that adjustment on any contract. Make sure you read these contracts you sign. It's not boilerplate when it takes away your legal rights on something, because they will get you. So you need to read it and make sure you keep a copy of it, okay? Because they will say, oh, it's just boilerplate, go ahead and sign here, because they want to get you in and out of there quick. You want the job, you have to sign this. Okay, I'll sign it. And you may not get the job if you make alterations on this. They may say, well, sorry. You need to look through it. If they want you to rush and sign it, you need to take the time to read it thoroughly. If they're trying to rush you through it, you definitely need to read it. And on that note, I'll leave it with you.